Hi guys, and welcome back to Riley's on the Road.
We took a side trip this summer to Rocky Mtn National Park.
Let's see what we did there.
In July, we went on a side trip for a day to Rocky Mtn National Park in Colorado. It was about a 2-hour drive. We stopped at the visitor center and saw these 2 deer just chilling under the center's balcony. Quite odd for wild animals.
We got our junior ranger badges at the visitor center.
After the visitor center, we went to a hike. Before we started, we did a quick walk to Bear Lake to eat lunch. It was truly a beautiful spot. It was overcast and raining, so we wore ponchos and rain jackets during the 2-mile round-trip hike to Alberta Falls. When we got there, it was absolutely stunning. The thundering waterfall was super loud, and the water was rushing so quickly. Dad and I went up a little higher to see closer, and Gemma joined us in a bit. On the way back, we saw birds, a grouse and her babies, and 2 garter snakes. When we got back to the car, we drove through the park some and listened to a guide along, telling lots of facts about the national park. We also stopped at some pretty overlooks along the way, and while we were driving, we saw a herd of 50 or more elk, one of the biggest herds we've ever seen. They're such majestic animals.
We drove to the ending point of the main road, which is a visitor center up on the tundra. We admired the view and hiked up to the highest hill in the area. There were lots of stairs, and the high elevation made it difficult. Ashton and I made it to the top first and saw a marmot. It was very cold and windy, and a storm was coming in, so we headed down quickly.
So we're up at a high altitude with a storm coming in, and the ranger told us that we need to get moving. Get off the top of the mountain.
On our drive back, we saw the herd of elk by the road again. We stopped at a pullout where a bunch of people were looking into the distance. Turns out they were looking at 3 bull moose on the other side of the field. We had to get our binoculars out for that one. I think Rocky Mtn might have had the most wildlife that we saw in one day of all the national parks we've been to.
We brought our lunch as we normally do while exploring a national park, but we spent so long exploring that we were famished when we left. Unfortunately, Trailborne wasn't a very filling dinner. One thing I haven't highlighted enough is an app called Guide Along. It's a GPS coordinated tour that tells about the history, scenery, and wildlife of each national park.
We saw so much wildlife for one day.
See you next time on Riley's on the Road. Bye!